What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Pixel Retouch Academy, where today we'll be diving in on color grading, and I'll be showing you how to master selective color and how to use it to color grade your images like a pro. So let's get started. Alright, so this actually works for any of the Photoshop version, and it is actually good for you to master the selective color. For you to locate the selective color, come right here below the adjustment layer and click on selective color. So you're going to see the selective color panel. Okay, so this is actually very important because not all the time you're actually going to get the results you are looking for when you use some of the adjustment layer like hue and saturation and color balance. But this is a very powerful tool, and I believe if you have the recent Photoshop, you're going to see more upgrade. But let's just look at how we can affect so many image with this and use it to color grade. Now you all know that the colors have primary colors, secondary color, and tertiary colors. Okay, so but for this one, we're going to see the primary colors are red, yellow, and green, RG, YG, and we have cyan, blue, and magenta, which is another color, which is secondary colors. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and explain all of these. First of all, we have the white, we have the neutral, and we have the blacks. We have the red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, magenta. Okay, so all these colors are present in images. Any image you have is possible for you to see all these colors there. And red is always known as skin tones. Initially, red is for skin tones, and you can also see the color yellow in the skin tones as well. So now once you open up the selective color adjustment layer, you're going to see the red selected automatically, but you can select other colors, and that cyan, you can go neutral, so you can select any other color. Now this is how it works. Whichever color you select here, you can add or modify that color using all of this slider. So if I select red here, I can manipulate the red, adding different colors of shade into the red. If I select white, I can manipulate the white by adding different colors using this slider. And if you check this slider, the first one has cyan, the second one magenta, the third one yellow, the fourth one black. So this is a replicate of what is inside this color. So we have black and white, so definitely this black has white, yellow and blue, magenta and green, cyan and red. So it's just the opposite of red is cyan. So we have the first and the third, the second and the fourth, the third and the sixth. So opposite of red, cyan, opposite of yellow, blue, opposite of green is magenta, opposite of white is black, and then we have neutral. Okay, so we can select any of this color like I said. Now how do we know the colors that when we push this slider is going to be hardened? Now if you take note, you can see that the label here is cyan, here is magenta, here is yellow. If you take this slider towards the yellow, it's going to add the opposite color. If I take this slider, which is of this magenta slider, towards the magenta, it's going to add opposite of magenta. If I take this slider towards the cyan, it's going to add opposite of cyan. But what is the opposite of cyan? Red. Let's make it more pronounced. Let's choose the yellow, the white, or let's go to the neutral, because I see a lot of neutral here. Now you can see I can manipulate this neutral by pushing the sliders, and as I push this slider, it adds the particular color to the neutral. For example, the neutral is selected. If I push this slider towards the cyan, it's going to add opposite of cyan, which is red. If I push it away, it's going to add opposite of red, which is cyan. So to add cyan, you have to push it away from the label. To add greens, I'm going to reset, go back to the neutral. To add green, I'm going to push it towards the magenta like this. To remove green, you're going to take it to other, it's going to add purple or magenta. Now to add yellow, you're going to push it away from the yellow, and you're going to push it towards yellow. to have blues. So it takes time to master it anyway, to know where to push it out. Now the white controls the lightness, the luminosity, and of um, the color. Now if I push it away from the black, it's going to darken the color. You can see the feel. If I push it towards, it's going to brighten up the color. So that's what it does. Opposite is white, opposite is this. So now you know you can add any color to the red, which is, if you want to add more red, you take it. If you want to take away red, you take it towards that way. If you want to add green, you take it towards this side, take away green. If you want to add yellows, you take it like this, you take it like this. So that's how it works. So it's just these sliders are there to manipulate each colors you choose in this side. So now that you understand how the selective color work, you actually select a particular color and then use this slider to manipulate it. Now how about the absolute and relative? Now it works differently. You can see, let's reset and go to the neutral again. So once we push it backwards, you can see that when we choose relative, it affects a lot of side. Why this? Consider the highlight and the shadows. Okay, this does not consider the highlight and the shadows, consider every other places. So if you want to affect, so I'll advise you, whenever you are using the neutral and white, you need to consider the relative. I usually choose the relative so that we have more. Otherwise, if you choose this, it's actually going to affect everything and it's going to look bad. But there are times whereby the absolute is actually needed when you want to mess around with the yellows and blue and green. So now that you understand what that is doing, let's see how we can color grade this image. Now it looks like this. There is no adjustment. So for us to adjust, let's say we want to color grade this. We see that the skin is not looking reddish enough, so we can go to the red and we can add more red. So you see, the more we add more red, the more it looks like this. We can also add yellow to bring up, to warm up the color. So warming up the color is adding it. If I push it backward, it won't. So we're warming up the color like this. So now that we've warmed up the colors, don't need to push your green or what's it called now, we can leave this as 0. So but the latest Photoshop, you just need to double click on the slider, it's going to reset it anyway. Now you can also decrease the brightness and increase the lightness. So the more you increase the lightness, I will advise you to push in more of this slider to make it look pleasing to the eyes. So now that we've warmed up the color a little bit, we can take this backwards because I just want a little more of that. So we've pushed it. Now we can warm up the what's it called now, the green. So let's go to the green and then we can add yellows to the green. We can remove yellows to the green. So it depends on what color, the color you want to achieve. Yeah, I will advise you to use color grading, the color wheels. So if we push this towards the magenta, is going to take away the green, and if we push it towards, it's going to add green. But now it depends on what you want to focus on. If you want to focus more on the skin, then I guess you need to push it, take out the green, and probably warm up the colors a little bit. But let's take this forward to warm up the colors, and we can actually add red. So we're warming up the color. Let's add extreme red to make it more warmer. Okay, so now we can also make use of the black and white. So I'm going to take it backwards to darken the flowers, so it looks like this. Now we still have more colors inside her, so we have the yellows. So now the yellows as well, it depends on what you want to achieve. If you want to add more blues, you can add more blues, and then it looks like this type of color grading and this one. So but I want the saturation of the blue to go up, so I'm going to add more of the yellows, and we can also add red to the blues to make it look, to pop to make our skin pop up the more. Okay, so now that we have that, we can tweak this to give it a reddish feel. You can see, so the magenta, we're adding all of this to make it look natural, because if we don't, it's going to look so yellowish. So we want to give it a reddish feel like this, and then we can also decrease the opacity, the brightness, because taking it all the way up, except we want to mask that. So let's take it downwards to get more. Now we're going to go ahead, since we have messed around with the red, yellow and green. If there are blues in the image, we will know. So let's go ahead and see. There are no blues in the image, so you can see except a high ball. So yeah, we're going to just type in 0. Since there are no blues inside, we're going to leave it. No cyan, no blues. I believe there are no blues in the image, so let's leave it 0. Now there are magenta. I think magenta can be seen on the tattoo on her face. So let's see. Yep. So I'll add more magenta, and then let's add more cyan or red. Let's take it backwards, blue. So it's have this, and we can brighten it up and darken it. So you see what I'm doing. It can be very visible here. So you see it now. So let's go back, and then we have it like this. Now this is where we need to work on the white, black and white. So because I want to warm up the what is it called, this side, and if I mess around with the colors, is actually going to affect a lot of place. Do you get? So messing around with all of this is going to affect all the image. So I would like to bring in another selective color layer. You can make it 2 or 3, and then you can actually use it as a lot. So let's click on this and choose relative. So it's going to affect most of the places now, and we can mask it out. So just because I chose white, I'm going to go ahead and see where it's going to affect. So it's affecting the background. Now this is where color grading comes in. It depends on the color grading you want to use. If you want to use monochromatic, you can just take and add some red to it, and also add some magenta, and some green. So it's going to match the skin tone, because if you take it towards it, you're giving it opposite. So if you leave it just here, it's not going to actually have the skin. So just because I want to maintain monochromatic, I'm going to take these two backwards, and I'm going to add yellow just because of the skin. So we can just add a little bit of yellow, and we have this warm monochromatic feel. And as well, you can also decrease, so you understand. Take it up and leave it like this. So since we have it on relative, because we put it on absolute, it's going to affect everything. So we just want it on this side only. And that's not all. We can go to the neutral, and then just because we want to achieve monochromatic, we still continue taking it backwards, and then adding some yellows. So it's affecting everything. So this is where you need to start using eraser tool. So let's just mask it out from the face. Open this and mask it from the face like this, so we see what we are doing. Okay, so now we can now start working on the background again. So let's go ahead, bring up this, and then we're gonna make it reset. Let's go ahead, go back to the white, and like I said, take it backwards. We want to achieve a monochromatic look, right? So this is a monochromatic look, just a little bit like this, just on the white. And we can go to the neutral as well, just pop it up a little bit, take it up, and if that's too much, you can just mess around. Good. So this looks fine for me. And you can also go to the blacks and add it. So that's the black. So you can see where it's affecting on the flowers. So taking it up, taking it backwards, not that. So because I want to add the monochromatic look, I'm going to just add some yellows to pop it up and make it reddish like that. And we can decrease the shade just like that. Now that we have it like this, we can quickly do a quickly before and after. So we have it like this and after. We can even come back to this one and then go to the neutral and go to the white if we mess around. So like I said, we mess around with the yellows or the red. If that is too much, we can take it backwards or take the yellow backwards, just like that. And you just do a final retouch on all. So I'm going to leave it like this because it seems it's looking good. So this is a monochromatic look anyway, because we have the background. So let's quickly do it before and after. I'm gonna select this and put this. So this is before and this is after. This is before and this is after. So that's for that. Very easy. Now let's say you don't want the let's select this, come back here, select this. You want the opposite. I'm gonna turn this off and turn this on. You're just gonna come here, choose the white, and you can mess around, giving it this what's it called now, the teal orange look. So like that, teal orange. I'm gonna take this backward and make it more tealy. So yeah, so make it more soft like that, and we can even enhance it using this, giving it that complete look. So it's already, yep. So I would like to want darken it the more. We're gonna put some shade anyway, so go to the black and yep. So it depends on what we want. We can just do something new. All right, so let's leave it like this, and then let's just drag this mask and put it on top and replace it, and that's what we have. So sometimes we just click Alt to show where it's affecting. So let's grab the brush tool and add it up to somewhere like this to make it more cooler. So like that, and there we go. You can decrease the opacity if you want. So that's it. We can reduce the opacity, and cool. So it looks natural. So this is the first one, while this is the second one, monochromatic. This is another one which is what's it called, split. Okay, so you can use it to color grade. So that's how to use the selective color. Also, you can use it for conversion. For example, let's say I want to convert the color red to yellow, or the yellow color to red. And now for example, I'm going to grab the hue and saturation, and you can see that I want to affect the blues in this hue and saturation, but nothing is happening because there is no blues. There are no blues in the image. Now I can convert, sorry, there are no blues in the image. I turned it on. Okay, so now for us to make this one blue so that it can affect it, we can use selective color. So I'm just going to select the red, and you know what to do. We can remove this. That's, I remove the yellows now, so I'm removing it. I want to convert it to blue extremely, so take this backwards and probably this one, and then it's on yellow now. So we're going to grab another one. It's on magenta. So here we go ahead, we keep pushing it till it gets to blue. So it's almost at blue. This is pure magenta, and that. So we keep putting more until we have blue. So I believe we're getting closer to blue now. So yes, so we can add one more to just make it bluish. Yes, like this, and let's push it like this to blue. Now it's already on blue. So since we have blue, we can now use this one, and then our selective color. Let's go ahead, we can mess around with our blue. So this is a master. Let's go to the blues, and whatever we change. So you can see it now, but if I turn off all this, it won't affect anything because there are no blues in the image, just the highs, which is not pronounced. So you can use it to convert. You can use the what's it called now, the selective color, to convert any color you want. So I believe you understand what selective color is. Just a quick recap. The selective color have different range of color, the primary colors and the secondary colors, plus this one's white, neutral, and black. And the sliders are meant to manipulate a particular color you choose, which is present in your image. If those colors are not present in your image, you can manipulate them. All right, so I believe this has helped one of you to understand what color grading is, and very good we can actually manipulate the background as well by darkening it and all of that, and using it to change color, convert color from one color to the other. So I believe this tutorials help everyone out there. See you in the next video. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.